Okay guys, here we are. This is an afternoon straight pool tournament. It's single elimination, and we'll have a quick look at the bracket. We'll see that this match is a second round match between a chap called, I think it's PM147 and Stefan. This is also a handicapped tournament. We've got Mr Bill playing Romario in the top match. Mr Bill getting 23 points. And Romario yet to get off the mark, so he's got his work cut out in that match. It is a race to 75, so there is time. The match we're going to watch is between these two fellas here. Let's see where they're from. PM147, I've never seen him shoot. He's from Germany. Stefan, oh, German as well, so it's an all German clash. And they're all both pretty evenly rated, so there was no handicap given either way, so they're both playing from scratch. PM147 at the table and had a nice break ball there, and he's finished on the one, and it's Stefan at the moment leading by 9 points to 6, but I think that might be going. And there's 1, 2, 6 balls out in the open here to be picked off without having to need to move anything else. And he needs to go back far enough to get that 9, which he's done. And now he's going to have to manoeuvre the cue ball here a wee bit. And that collision with the 7 has spoiled his position, so he's going to call this 10, and without a doubt he's going to be moving something this time. And he's overcut it. So PM147 got himself into the lead with that little run of 10. Remember, this is a called shot game. All non-obvious shots must be called. Usually it's combos and banks, and you must miscall any fluked or slop shots. Now, at this stage, you should always be looking for a break ball. What one is likely to be the break ball? And 147's missed an easy 6 there, and that's let Stefan back in. And the 2 and the 8 ball are pretty close to one another, making it slightly awkward. Once again, Stefan's going to have to move the cue ball a bit. Might have to move it right down the table if he's going to leave himself on the open in that 13 ball. Well, he's come back and again trying to ride his luck here, and it's not happening. It's always wiser after the event, but it's probably better that you try and pick off what's there without having to try and disturb something when you don't really need to. But I think he's got the cover. And 147 going for this cut down into the top left as we look, and he's overcut it. And neither player seems to have settled down into any kind of rhythm yet. And goes the 2, the 4 ball still sitting there as a good break ball, which is why Stefan's leaving it alone. And this needs to hold up to stay in the 9, or needs to keep running. He's a bit in between here, but now he's decided to take the 4. And He needs an angle on this ball, and I think he's too straight. Yep, so he's got no real opportunity to get into this pack. So that'll be the end of Stefan's visit. And he's got a 5-point lead. Plays the safety, keeps the cue ball tight into the bunch. And that's going to scratch, I think. Yeah. But I don't think there's a lot of damage done. Now in a scratch you've got ball in hand, but behind the head string you can't, you don't have ball in hand all over the table. So I think it's, well, I'll regret doing that. Stefan tried the cut on the 4 and ended up scratching off the pack into the middle. And now here's an opportunity for PM147 to get himself back into the lead. But I think he's actually been lucky and finished on that 14. Just enough space here to get through. Again, drawn back to try and loosen the balls a wee bit. The 5 ball is sitting near the orange one. I think, well, PM147 is going to take it. It would have been a good break ball. The 1 ball still a good break ball as well. Well, he's changed his mind now, and he's going to be colliding into the 8. I tried a little delicate cut shot there. So again, that visit only brings PM147 4 points, so nobody's putting any semblance of what you would describe as a decent run, you know, 15, 20, something like that. And that's what you really need to be doing to put pressure on your opponent. You need to actually be seen to be scoring, and the two of them are playing a wee bit untidy here. Of course, one other thing to remember is that we're playing on tournament pockets, so there's not an awful lot of leeway in these pockets. You've got to be accurate. That's done himself a favour there. He split the only two that were really sort of tied up. And this is where you need to just take your time and concentrate, because we've got no shot clock in this tournament, so there's no need to rush. And he wants to get rid of that 11 ball down there at some point, but he could keep it there as a sort of emergency exit if he was running out of position down at the bottom end of the table here. And there's 3 balls there that would be good break balls. Of course, for those of you who aren't familiar with straight pool, it's just a simple process of potting whatever ball you can, and you get a point for each ball. And of course, when you come to the end of the rack, down to the last ball, you need to be in such a position where you can not only pot that ball to keep the run going, but you have to be able to split up the pack. Now, what's the angle like in that 5? Well, he's got a slight angle, so he can certainly bring 1 or 2 balls out here. And he didn't really get into that hard enough because he's killed the cue ball right against the pack. Although he's opened up a few, he's not really got a sight on him, so he's choosing the bank to try and keep the run going, but he's missed that. And again, Stefan with an angle in the 90, he'll probably try and run into the back of the bunch here, but he needs to run off the pack like that, which has actually worked out okay, because if he'd killed a cue ball into that bunch of balls there, he would have really had nothing on, I don't think. And the other thing as well is that 13 ball at the bottom right, if you look at that ball, sorry, bottom left of the screen, that's a blocker, so he needs to get rid of that as well, because there's a couple of balls there will go into that pocket provided the 13's out the way. So now the 3's blocking, and probably take that. And this could be the best scoring visit so far in this match. And really wants to get onto one of those balls there, the one ball, and get it out the way. He's left it a bit short. And this time he's gone just a tad too far on the 11. He can pot the 11 no problem, but ideally somehow wanting to get onto one of these two balls here that are tied up, and he's scratched. Well, that's what happens. You don't keep control of the cue ball, you hit something too hard like that, table will run against you, and lo and behold, 147's on that one ball, so that gets rid of that problem. The 15 ball is sitting in the marked triangle in the table, so that needs to move, and as long as he avoids that 7, he can probably get on the, I think that's a 12 ball, if he keeps running. He's going to have to take it into this corner. Needs to be careful though. Well, he's not going to hold the break ball there. He's going for the 7 by the looks of it. Or is he? What's he thinking of? So now he's in the middle of nowhere, and this will be a very ambitious shot if he's going to try and pot that and somehow disturb the pack. He really needs to put a lot of top and inside English to send a cue ball around the angles to try and get into the pack. Well, that's going to backfire. Well, he didn't hit them as hard, so the balls have stayed more or less safe, and it's just the ball that he went for that's out in the open. And that might scratch as well. No, he's okay. But you don't want to have to be taking awkward cuts like this to keep a run going. It's much better to try and keep better control of the cue ball. So he went full blooded there, missed the 4, and left his opponent an easy starter. So still no player really showing that they're going to be favourite for this match. It's a pretty even game. And no real angle there either to break the balls out, so now he's got nothing on other than a bank. And scratched again. Now does that one ball go at the top of the bunch there? Let's have a look. No, it doesn't. And there doesn't look to be any combination shots on. Well, that's 7 and 2. Well, they've moved now anyway, so I suppose the only one that can be made is a 9 and a 4. Looking at that. And both players are struggling for consistency here. So the score, and PM's just miscued. I think the two will still go. Score now is 33 to 147 and 25 to Stefan. Well, has he made a combo there? No. Again out of position and no shot unless the 8 cuts. Let's have a look at the 8. I don't know, is he going to try the 13, is it? Yeah, well, the 8 doesn't go, it's covered by the 13. And that was a good shot. Not much room to manoeuvre there between the jaw and that 10 ball. But we've got a couple of break balls sitting. If he gets the 8 out of the way and then gets the 10, just needs to get rid of one of those remaining balls, and he's got a good break ball, and that's bad. That's not what he wanted. And probably no option but to play the combo now. And he's got no sight on the 14 either now, so just a safety. So you can see that the level of play that these guys are playing at, they're really struggling to get any shape and really dissect a rack, which is really what you have to do in straight pool. You have to intricately manoeuvre, if that's a word, intricately, and he scratched again. You have to really pick and move to get these balls picked out to try and construct a decent run, and two of them are really struggling. Well, I think he's got the 15 that he can cut down past the 14. And that's going to be a missed call. He's flipped in the 14. And Stefan comes to the table on the 10 ball. And these balls, quite a few of them are still blocking one another, so he's got to winkle them out, as we would say. But Stefan really needs to put something together to get himself right into this game, because little runs of 2s and 3s aren't going to help him much. I wonder if we can just draw back off that 6 ball. Yeah. And he's gone almost safe again. Got the 8. but needs to disturb something here. And again he's finished in no man's land. We should be looking at the safety somewhere. Maybe try and just tuck behind that 13. Well, went for a jump. So that visit was just, I think, 8 points. And that takes Stefan on to 32. He's still trailing by the 10 points. And now we've got 2 potential break balls there. I think the 2 is still out of the triangle, but it's going to go right now. And now he's got a nice angle on the 13 to come up the table and get rid of that 12 ball. That should be the path that he's taken in order to leave that 14 as his break ball. Well, he's totally underhit that. I presume he tried to get up the table to take the 12 into this bottom left, but he's now forced into having to go for the 14 again. Now this time he does have an angle, but he's still going to have to put a bit of English on this cue ball, and that's why he's missed 12. But it's gone safe. And nothing on for Stefan other than his safety. Gets a ball to a rail and he's got the cue ball tied up against the pack. And that might have just crept out there, has it? Yeah, you can see the 7. So here's a chance for Stefan to reduce his deficit. And again just seems determined to try and get into the pack there. All those balls were sitting there for the taking, but now he's left himself again in a no man's land situation. He's got a long 1 ball. And it goes. Again, wanting to move balls, and this is just relying on luck and getting on another ball. And this time he's on nothing. He's going to have to pull out a good shot to keep this going. Well, and that really stems from just keeping trying to open balls that aren't needing opened at this stage in the rack. It's much easier to pick off what's out there rather than having to keep trying to get into balls that aren't needing moved, because it always leads to trouble. And this is why we're not seeing any longer runs. And 147 contribution here, just to 2. Right, so this is going to take care of the 1 remaining ball that's in the bottom half or the top half of the table as we look at it. And he's got all his work to do down here. Again, he's letting the cue ball run and hoping really for position. And he's got a shot on the 14. He's finished dead straight now. On the, is that the 12? Yep. So again, needs to pull out a good shot to keep this going. Now he can run the 3 into that top corner and split the 4 and the 6, which he's done. And got the 6 into the middle. And I think the 15's just gone beyond a point where it'd be an ideal break ball. So he's going to take it now. Now if he can finish parallel to the 4 a bit like that, that's not bad. He's got a good chance here for potting the 4 and splitting into the balls. Well, again, rushing it, overcut the 4, rattled it in the jaws. He did get the second part of the job done. He did get the pack open, but now all of these points, whatever they might be, are all going to go to his opponent. And time is beginning to run out for Stefan. He's 6 points behind and counting. And PM147's only 23 points away from victory. Now the 5 has gone upward. And he's still got that 15 ball at the top end of the table that he needs to move. And now he's a chance to get into the 7 and the 5 here. He's just kissed a 5 out. That's fine. And all the time he gets closer to the winning line. Needs to take this 15 ball. Got to get rid of it. You don't want to leave that to about the last ball. Should take it this time. Now the question is he going to play? I mean, that 14 ball in the bottom cushion here, just off the bottom cushion, is a good break opportunity, provided he leaves a higher angle on it, which is hopefully what he'll remember to do here off this 7. And that's pretty good. He doesn't need to force this an awful lot, but the one thing is, if he hits this right in the middle of the pack, the cue ball's going to finish dead on the pack. He needs to hit a corner here. Well, they've broken reasonably nicely, and so PM147's run goes to 15. This is the biggest contribution of the match so far, but more importantly, it's at a crucial time. And he's got a 21 point lead and counting, and only got another few points he needs to win the match. Another 9. So we're still really in the early stages of this match. Not a lot happening. And Bill tied up his opponent. Now how's that worked out? Well, that still looks okay. I think the 8 ball does go into the right middle. It needs to be really accurate though. And it's a dangerous shot to take on, because if he misses this, he's bound to leave something on. He's went for the 2. That's a good shot. Pulled that one out the bag. How's his luck though? Well, he's got nothing on. You can't see the potting angle of the 8. There's no combos sitting there, so what's he choosing? He's calling the 14, and I think he's going to have to swerve round this to try and make it. Bit of English on it. No, he's dug out the jump cue, and in goes the 14, and this looks better. No, I thought that one would go. It doesn't go, so Bill's still struggling here, and he's only getting little crumbs here at the moment. He's not really had a chance to get his eye in, but it won't take him long if he's given the opportunity. And he takes the 8 ball and he misses it, and again that visit was only just a 2 points, so PM147's got another opportunity to distance himself from Bill. And I think, judging by what I saw in the semi-final match that PM147 played in, I would suggest he does have to get a bit of distance, because you know, once Bill gets warmed up and gets settled and gets in control, because he's not been in control yet, then he should be able to pick off a fair wee run to get back into this game. The question is as and when and if that might happen. But I think Bill should also be wary that if he's going to leave opportunities for his opponent, then he's more than capable of scoring enough just to keep that lead. And his lead is increasing all the time. He's chosen to disturb those 2 balls. They're now in the open, and he can roll the, is that the 14 that's down there? No, it's the 12. Roll that in, and he's got a choice of 2 or 3 here if he wants. Maybe he wants to take that 7 and get onto the side rail for this 3, so he can go round the corner here and over to the side. And he's hit that a wee bit strong. He might have wanted to play for that 1 in the rail, and he's got the 15 in the open. Might be able to clip the 3 ball here. He's just clipped it, pushed it a wee bit, made no difference. So now he's got no option. He's got to take the 15 ball, and it'll be a good shot if he leaves something that's going to be a break shot here. Once again, he does have an option to do that, but the 3's tight in the rail, and he's also going to have to do a wee bit with the cue ball to get into this pack. And he did the right thing. He just took what was there, didn't get over ambitious. You've got the lead, why give your opponent a chance to come in? Well, he may well just have done that, because he's hit that far too heavy, and the cue ball isn't frozen against the pack, and Bill's got an easy starter. And Bill just having a look around the table to see what's there for the taking, and not rushing into it. is a combo with that 14 and 6, so he doesn't need to move them, he just needs to get behind them. He's still on the 10. I think he's going to collide with that 9 ball though. He wants to try and stun up and avoid that, and he's managed to do that, and that's worked out quite nice. So now he's got choices. And again, that collision's just sending him astray. He's now got to pull out a good shot here again to keep this rack going, and I don't see anything obvious. Let's have a look. Well, the 8 goes into the right middle. The cue ball will be going dangerously close then off, so he's going to try and cut this back, I think. And he's played that one well. And this time he's on the 15. Maybe I want to try and get rid of that 14 and 6 combo right now when he's got the chance, because he can get right behind it. Well, he's chose to disturb them. He's kicked in the 6, that counts. And something might be beginning to take shape here. Get rid of the 14, take either the 1 or the 4 next. And of course those 2 balls are still in the triangle, so the 15 or the 9 looks like good break balls. That 13 that's over the middle is a good break ball as well if he got the right angle on it. Get the cue ball into the pack. So Bill's taking the 2 problem balls away, and that leaves him a choice. And he didn't want the collision in the 9. You see how easy it is to mess up your run, and that's causing a problem. So now he's got the shot on the 15. How does he get position behind any of these 2 balls? Well, he thinks he can still see enough of this 9 to pot it. Yeah, in actual fact he overcut it. Well, Bill's run comes to an end. It's only 12, but it does reduce his deficit, and the only problem there though is he's left a break ball, and that needs to run a bit more. So the 15's going into a blind pocket, and this is an all or nothing break shot. And he's missed it, and that's exactly what you don't want to do. But look at the cue ball. Well, Bill's got the 6. And again, when he pots this 6 ball, he's going to be colliding into that 9. And he really needs to get the cue ball out of there. Oh well, he could see the 13, that's better. I never even looked at the 13. So this is another good opportunity for Bill, because PM147's contribution so far now is dried up, and Bill could make another decent wee contribution here to get him back on a level pegging with his opponent. Now looking at that mixture of balls in the middle of the triangle there, there's only the odd nudge here or there that needs done to open up potting angles for these balls. There's not an awful lot needs done. If he could get the cue ball into that 14 ball or the 8, he's certainly going to nudge another 1 or 2 out. But there's still 3 balls there for the taking at least. Well, he's nudged into the 7. I think he's lucky though that he's actually still finished in the 6. very quickly things can get messy, and of course he's not cut the 6 ball enough, so Bill's run comes to an end, and he's still chasing PM147, just the 2 points in it at the moment. Here we go with the deep draw again to try and disturb them. And has he finished on anything? Well, he's still on the 8. 15 ball is sitting there as a very nice break ball. Now if he plays this nice and soft, he can take the 2 and the 7. That needed to bounce a bit more. He's still got a cut on it, and he's still going to take it by the looks of it. And this is like the Steve Davis Black, the final black decider in 1985 World Snooker Championship final. And it's always a tendency to overcut these, but in this case he's undercut it. Well, Bill will be relieved about that, because he's only, what is he, he's only 7 points behind after that visit. And Bill, I don't think he'll be touching that 15 ball. It's sitting there perfect. So now he just needs to get up the table and out to leave this 14 ball and get rid of it, and get the cue ball in an optimum position to take this 15. And that looks good, because he can just, the angle means that the cue ball's going to run over to the right, and he's just run it nice way, and he's got perfect angle to pot this and split the pack, and he's going to be hitting the corner of the pack, so they should open nicely. Well, he's drew back, and that's really not done himself any favours there. Again, he's finished in no man's land and going to have to pull out a good shot to keep this going. Once again, overcut the 2. So we're back to this scrappy phase again. Bill trying to get back on even Stevens with his opponent, but just falling short. Well, that's just run a bit too far. What's he got? Well, he can roll the 14 in. Will that squeeze past that 11? No, it doesn't. And this is going to split them. And he's finished nice. He didn't overhit it. He's finished nice in the 15. Nudged another couple of balls out. Where's his next one? Well, he can. I think he can see enough of that 6. He can cut that into the middle, so that isn't a problem. The cue ball can run down, and as long as he's got sight there of the 2, and he's okay. Might even take that 12 into the middle pocket. Again, I don't think that was really needed. He didn't really need to get into those. When you start letting the cue ball run like that, you're not running with it under control, and you're relying on a good break to make sure you're still on a ball. Nevertheless, he's still contributing points to his overall points goal, which is 75. And And this time he's nudged a 1 in, finished on the 9. Now, let's look closer at that triangle. I think that the 3 was in a triangle, it's not anymore. The 11 definitely is, so it's going to be next to go. And the 3 ball and that 14 ball could still be used as break balls, as could the 5. And once again, if he takes the 3, he just needs to roll through. He looks as if he's content to take the 5, and now he's got no shot. Well, that wasn't the shot of somebody that was really thinking and planning the route, because the chance was there to run through to leave that 5 into the right middle and the angle to come into the pack, and I'm assuming he didn't see that shot, and he's played a very poor safety there. And the only thing that's his saving grace is I think it's pretty straight, this 3. And that left Bill a real tough shot to try and get anything out of that. So just a safety. Well, he's missed the edge of the 8, and that's just a point away, I think. Yep. That's a good cut, but relying on luck to get on something else. Now at this stage of the game, Bill really has to try and keep it tight, because you know he's only got 1 from this visit so far, and he certainly doesn't want to be giving his opponent easy opportunities. You know, he's now feeling pressurised that he's got to try this bank in a 7, and the cue ball's running round and it's splitting the balls, and that's exactly the point I'm making. Bill's contribution just a 1, and his opponent's right in the heart of the balls here with 2 or 3 to choose from. That's not going to get there, I don't think. It's going to the jaw. Oh no, it's just gone. Thought that was going to hit the jaw there and stay up. Well, the balls just haven't been falling nicely for Bill. He's what is he? Is he almost 30 points behind? PM147 moving on to 50. And once again, there's a good break ball there. I would be taking the 15 ball now, because he can come out and miss the 14 and leave himself on the 7. That would be the one to take. But now he's, again, this is going to be colliding with balls when you don't really need to. Well, I can still see the 2, and I would be just dropping this in dead weight. Well, that's okay. No harm done there. And he's stunned up and should be taking this 15. Cue ball's going to come back across the table. He doesn't want to hit it too hard, but he can leave a potting angle on the 14. It looks as if he's going to take the 14 instead. Now, well, he's got a slight angle there. Is it going to be enough to get a lot of movement here? Well, he caught the corner, and that's finished not too bad. He can just do a soft draw on the 7. And now he's got a choice. Do you want to take the 8 and nudge another few out? Well, he's done that, and he's still on the 3 ball into the middle, and he could also just get rid of the 6 as well while he's down there, but he's hit that too hard. However, in the meantime, he's moved on to 60. The run goes to 17. And now that double kiss there has ruined his position. And this is where he's out of position and he's struggling to keep the run going. And this is not the shot to be playing when you've got such a big lead. It's brave, and he's missed it. And how's his luck? Well, he's left Bill on the 1, and PM147's run of 20 comes to an end, but he's on 64 and Bill's way back there in 29, and Bill needs to get motoring. And Bill should be fully focused now, take his time. Now is he playing the combo? Yep. That 11 ball is in the triangle, so it's got to be the ball he takes next, and he's put an awful lot of English on that to come across for that 11, and he's overcut the 12, and Bill's run was only 4, and that's not going to be good enough for him to get back into this match. These all should have been Bill's. And I'd be leaving the 10 ball there. That's the break ball. Now, can he see that? Yes, he can. So he's got the angle. That was a good shot. And that is unlucky. He's finished dead in the pack. He's got no shot. So all he's got is a safety. Unless he tries something really silly. I don't see anything on here at all. He's getting greedy. He's choosing a bank. And again, this time he's missed, so I would suggest that Bill's contribution here needs to be up in the 20s. He needs to really motor, and that has to run and miss that 7, which it has. And this is still going to be a struggle for Bill, the way the balls are lying. He's got to really pick his way through this pile of balls. Now, did he play for the 9 or the 2? I don't know, but he's certainly still got a potting angle in the 2. 15 is going to allow him to get into the balls that are there and disturb them. And how's his luck? Well, either or, it's still going to be another good shot to keep this run going. And goes the 4. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, disaster. Well, that just about sums it up for Bill. Again, his contribution just to 4 points. A scratch into the middle, and PM147 sitting on 67. Just needing the 8 points for victory, and all the balls are sitting there for the taking. And that was a poor one. Spent no time over that at all. And Bill's got a lifeline, and Bill will be doing everything he can to punish PM147. And he doesn't want to overhit this, he just maybe want to leave it at distance. Now, is he on the 2? Let's have a look. Yes, he is. And that gets rid of that problem ball. And once again though, he's just overhit it a touch. You don't want to have to be taking these type of shots to keep a run going. This is a tough one. But in it goes, and he's got the 4 with the 13 to follow. And if he just rolled the 4 in, and he's going the other way, so not the way I would have went, but each to their own. And now he has the angle on the 4 to get the cue ball out into the table and leave the angle. Not too hard though, but he needs to leave the angle in the 10, which he has, and this is the crucial shot of the match. I think he's still got a chance if he can get these two open nicely. Well, that's not finished very good at all. He's still got the 6 though, and probably the 13 next if he runs through. Well, that's alright. And now probably the 14 next after this 11. And the 9 to follow after this. Well, again a risky shot. It's worked out okay. He's on the 5. Now things start to get a bit awkward again. He's probably going to roll through in this 3 as well to try and nudge balls out if the 3 goes, which it does. Well, turning that option down. Bill moves on to 50. He's getting closer. But he's got to really stay on top of his game, fully focused and concentrate, because he's got no margin of error now at all. And just going to pop the 8 down the rail there and leave himself on the 1. And now this one is the crucial one again, because he's going to split them open. Oh dear. Well, that was it, and I think that's game over now. Bill's run of 15 comes to an end. He's on 52, and PM147 just needs a few more balls to secure this tournament. Moves on to 70, and there's enough balls there remaining. He doesn't need a break ball, just needs to clear these up. and the 15 ball can get rolled in, and then he rolls in the 1. He's let the cue ball run for no reason whatsoever, trying to make his life a wee bit more difficult. The cue ball's going to be running back across here, so he should never have been playing this from here. He should have just hit that a lot softer. And he's gone and knocked to 7 safe. Now, I rest my case when it comes to playing common sense shots. Okay, he's only needing the 1 ball to win, but that 1 ball might never come. All he has is a safety. He's sitting on 74. And if he doesn't get this safety right, he may well live to regret it. He's calling the safety, and that's not worked out good at all, because he's nudged the 11 out and Bill's got a shot on it. And if he plays this right, he'll have an opportunity after he gets the 15 ball to get on the 13. Well, he's run through. He's still, I think though, he's finished 2 straight on the 7. He's going to have to force this a wee bit with a bit of spin. That's okay now. This is where he has to be really careful. A dead weight shot in this 15 to leave a shot in the 13. But he's gone too straight. Oh. He's finished 2 straight on the 13. And he's looking to see if there's any sort of combination anywhere, and I don't see anything. And there is a slight angle there, but it would be close on a miracle shot if he got anything out of this pack. Well, I think he ran through, hoping he can see an angle on this 4. Can he see enough of it? Well, I think it's really touch and go. I don't think he can get to the potting angle. He would be hitting the 8 ball. So he's playing the safety. And Bill is 18 points behind. 147 just needing the 1 ball for victory, and this match should have been over. Without a doubt it should have, if he just played a sensible shot. And you do not want to have to live to regret what he did in that last set of balls. And once again he's played the safety, and this time I think he's got away with it. And Bill has the problem ball of the 14 there. Now I think Bill can just feather that 14 into the cue ball up the table. He's not looked at it, but I think he can feather it to the left and just nudge the cue ball down the table. I don't think he'll leave anything on. Well, that was a disaster. That's a gift for PM147 to clinch the match. And PM147 clinches the match by 75 points to 56. And Bill might want to have a look at that 14 ball again as a safety, because I think that was the option.